right, good morning, everybody. June 1st is literally 10 days away, which means we are going to be back in hurricane season. We do this each and every year. And so, as you've heard, for 2026, the forecasters are pointing to a strengthening El Nino pattern with a number of named storms and expected hurricanes to be slightly below average. But if I could take you back to 1992, we had pretty much the same forecast that year, and that's when Hurricane Andrew hit, and it was one of only 4 hurricanes to make landfall in the U.S. as a Category 5, and it did so right here in Florida for an El Nino. So the point of me saying that isn't to scare everyone, it is to be prepared. And that's why we are here today, is to remind everyone that hurricane season is coming. I know, fortunately, we have received rain a few days this week. While we had a number of events in our city, and I often feel personally responsible when it rains on someone's event in our city. But we were all very, very happy to see that rain, but we are still in a severe drought. So people, may be letting their guard down. Well, now's the time to pay attention and think about getting your plan together. This year, I'm incredibly proud of our emergency operations group that is headed by our fire chief, Barbara Tripp, who you're going to hear from in a moment. For the first time ever, we have done our own Tampa-centric hurricane guide, and it's very easy to follow. It has very, very practical steps on how to prepare and then what to do if we have a tropical storm or if there's a hurricane heading our way. So a lot of great information in here. Please, please get a copy of this and go through it. And also, one of the things that I want to say is that, when it comes down to tropical storms or hurricanes, when they're on the way towards us or anywhere in our area, we will keep you apprised of the situation and letting people know every moment, what they should do. But you have to prepare ahead of time. You have to prepare your home. You have to prepare your family. And again, the simple steps are in this guide. And we thank the media, everyone who is here today, for all that you do to ensure that everyone stays aware and everyone stays safe in our community. The evacuation maps have changed, so you need to pay attention to those as well. And when we do call for an evacuation, remember, evacuation, sort of the definition of it has changed through the years for us. It doesn't mean you have to go to Georgia anymore. When we say evacuate now, that means just get to higher ground. And higher ground could be a relative's home that just lives a few miles away. And if they tell you their house is full, it probably isn't. So just make sure that you understand you don't have to go too far away. We also make all of our parking garages in the city of Tampa free whenever we expect any type of flooding in our community, so your cars can all be high and dry. We talk about electric vehicles. I can't believe how much we talked about electric vehicles, and then to still have individuals who left electric vehicles in their cars. And unfortunately, in some instances, not only did the car catch on fire, but homes burned down because they hadn't moved those cars to higher ground. Tax-free supplies, pay attention to that. The things that you need to prepare for the storm. There are certain periods, and during these economic times, it really means a lot, that extra percentage that you'll be able to save on the supplies that you need. And lastly, again, we want everybody to be aware. Alert Tampa, if you haven't signed up for that, it's useful every single day, not just during hurricane season. You're kept up on events, road closures, where to expect traffic at, things that are happening in our city, and then also incredibly helpful during hurricane season. The same information, if you want text messages, you can text Tampa Ready to 888-777, and then for Spanish, 888-777 Tampa Lista. So please do that. You can go for all of the information you need, tampa.gov/hurricanes. You'll be able to order our beautiful new guide, and that has all the information that you need. So once again, please be prepared. And now I'd like to bring up our Fire Chief, Barbara Tripp.
Thank you, Mayor. So good morning, everyone. As we prepare for the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, today is an important reminder that hurricane preparedness starts long before a storm appears on the radar. Hillsborough County has updated and expanded evacuation zones ahead of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season. Residents should verify their evacuation zones now, and please, please don't wait until the storm is approaching. Go to tampa.gov/hurricane to identify your evacuation zone. Know your zone, know your route, have a plan in place before hurricane season begins. Special needs shelters are going to be available for residents who require electricity, dependent medical equipment, or additional medical assistance during emergencies. Registration is required at least 30 days in advance to help ensure proper accommodation and planning. If you or a loved one needs this type of assistance or shelter, please register today at tampa.gov/hurricane. Pet-friendly shelters are also available through Hillsborough County. Residents should prepare ahead by bringing vaccination records, food, medication, carriers, leashes, and comfort items for their pets. Hurricane preparation starts at home. You need to test your smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms monthly, replace the batteries if needed. Working alarms saves lives and provide critical early warning during emergencies. Let's talk about generators. Generators' safety remains extremely important after storms and power outage. Never operate generators inside homes, garages, or enclosed spaces. Keep generators at least 20 feet away from structures and direct exhaust away from windows and doors to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Electrical vehicles, the mayor talked about EV vehicles. What you should do, owners should prepare before the storm by fully charging the vehicles ahead of potential evacuation and understanding flood risks associated with EV batteries. Avoid driving or parking EVs in flooded areas, and whenever possible, use elevated parking garage. We encourage all Tampa residents to attend the Hurricane Preparedness Expo. That will be this Saturday, May 30th, from 11 to 3. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be at the Cordelia Hunt Center, which is also El Lopez. Come out. This expo going to provide our new hurricane guide that the mayor has been talking about, additional preparedness resources, safety information, and updated evacuation guidance. And also, we will have tools to help families get storm ready before the hurricane season begins. Preparedness is a shared responsibility. Taking these simple steps now can help protect lives, property, and families when severe weather threatens our community. While we hope for a quiet season, as the mayor said, what happened back in 1992, don't let that stop you from being prepared this year. Let's continue to train, let's continue to prepare, and prepare for a potential impact. Our personnel are ready to respond when our community needs us most. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Now I'd like to introduce our Police Chief, Lee Bercaw.
Thank you, Chief Tripp. There's a common theme you will hear from each of us, and that's being prepared. We cannot stress enough the importance of having a plan. As a police department, we continuously train and review our operational plans for emergencies, including our hurricane response plan. We've acquired several new tools to assist us in responding to hurricanes, including recently an airboat. This allows us to access shallow waters for rescue situations, as well as our SHERP vehicle, which is an all-terrain amphibious vehicle capable of rescuing in flooded waters and on land. In addition to that, we have our other specialized equipment, including our high water rescue vehicle. But remember, even specialized equipment will not be on the roads during the direct impact if and when that ever occurs. That's why pre-planning is so important. Don't wait until it's too late. And I can tell you, during the last hurricane season with Helene and Milton, we had two situations where it was almost too late. In South Tampa, we went by an elderly female's house who hadn't evacuated, wasn't heeding our warnings, and we were out there talking to her, and we were explaining that the flooding comes, what are you going to do? And she literally pointed over to a pool floaty and saying that she would be on that. So fortunately, we were able to connect her with family and get her out just in time. Very similar situation with an elderly man on Davis Island, again saying that he would just go to the roof, and I'm explaining to him, you could be stuck on the roof for a long time, how would you get on the roof? Fortunately, we were able to connect them with family. Those situations were so close that it was almost too late for them. After the storm, we also have teams equipped to clear debris from roads and ensure safe passages as quickly as possible. Our commitment is to protect and serve before, during, and after the storm. If there's an evacuation, sign up, if you haven't already, for our Hurricane Reentry Program. This is a tag that may help expedite your reentry back into your neighborhood. You can learn more about that at tampa.gov/hangtag. Before you evacuate, though, we ask you to take steps to secure your home and protect your property. Lock all your doors and windows and document your belongings with photos if possible. When a state of emergency is declared, criminal penalties are enhanced. Crimes committed during this period, including looting and burglary, carry much more severe penalties, and we will be enforcing them. In case of an emergency, we urge individuals with disabilities or special needs that affect communication or their caregivers or families to sign up for our city's special needs registry. That can be found at tampa.gov/special needs registry. In closing, I'd like to say, stay prepared, stay informed, and stay safe during this hurricane season. Our next speaker will be Brandon Cambell, who is my favorite director of mobility and stormwater.
Good morning, everyone. Well, a lot of people are just starting to think about hurricanes and storm season and the impacts that those may bring. I want to assure you that our mobility department and our stormwater operations crews have been thinking about and performing stormwater maintenance all year long, blue skies and gray, and that we are continuing to be as ready as we can be for the impacts of this storm season that's about to begin. To that end, last month alone, we removed 700 tons of debris from our pipes, ponds, and pumps, our stormwater system. To create a comparison, 700 tons is about the same weight as 7 times the Statue of Liberty. So if you imagine seven statues of Liberty being removed from our system, it's an awful lot. And we do that month after month after month. Like I said, blue skies and gray. We are out there continually maintaining our system and removing debris from the curb line, from the ponds, from the pipes, to make sure that every bit that we can get out of the way of the stormwater flowing to the river and to the bay can do so as quickly and efficiently as possible. So that maintenance ensures that our stormwater system performs at its maximum capacity. In addition to all the maintenance that we've done, we continue to have generators at the ready for all of our pump stations. For some of those pump stations, we've had for a long time generators permanently installed. For those that don't, we have an ongoing project to design and construct permanent generator locations, facilities that ensure that even in the absence of TECO electricity, that we have continuous operation of those pumps. As we finish that project, it's about a 2-year project, thanks to an $11 million allocation, thanks to the administration and to City Council. We are finishing up design right now, and in the interim, we have temporary generators at the ready to deploy, and we stand ready in advance of an approaching storm to get those out there, to proactively switch to generator power so that there's one less point of failure in that chain of operation, and we can ensure, again, the best performance of our system. In addition to that, we have undergone exercises. We did a drill last year. Thankfully, we did not have to deploy those backup generators for a storm, but we did take part in a drill so that we know exactly how long it takes and what to expect, and we can be ready to deploy those on short notice in advance of a storm. We have a stormwater pump and generator crew that will be hunkered down in our emergency response centers if and when those get activated, so that we can ensure continuous operation and continuous fueling of those generators if and when they get called out to the field. The bottom line is that our teams are working hard every day so that we can be as ready as we can be for an approaching storm, large or small. But I also want to say that, as we've said many times before, every system has its capacity limitations. We're going to ensure that that system is working as best it can, but at some point, the rain is more than we are designed to handle. So we need to ensure that everyone is ready and that everyone is heeding evacuation warnings, and that we can respond and get recovery resources out in the field as quickly as possible. But there are limitations to anything that we can do. I just want to assure everyone that within those limitations, we are doing everything that we have the capability to do to be ready for a storm season. So that said, I want to bring up Cherie Jacobs, spokesperson from TECO.
Good morning. Tampa Electric prepares year-round in anticipation of hurricane season, doing things like trimming trees along power lines and drilling and practicing before the season begins. This year, we moved our energy control and storm restoration headquarters further inland, away from storm surge or potential floodwaters. It is built to a Category 5 storm, and it allows employees to be ready for any emergency. Our Storm Protection Plan is a program that continues to build the resilience of our grid. It includes putting certain power lines underground and also raising equipment at certain low-lying substations. A little over half of our power lines are currently underground, and last year we put another 77 miles underground. We continue to install self-healing technology. This is equipment that works sort of like your GPS when you're trying to go somewhere and it steers you around an accident. This routes power around any potential problems. And in those areas where we've installed that equipment, momentary outages have been reduced by about half. We are prepared. We encourage all of our customers to likewise be prepared. Our Storm Center website, tampaelectric.com/Storm Center, offers helpful videos and tips to help folks be ready for the upcoming storm season. And now I'd like to introduce Matt Thompson with Port Tampa Bay.
Good morning. As a critical energy gateway for the state, Port Tampa Bay handles nearly half of the fuel consumed in the state of Florida, which covers about a 22-county region. Enabling reliable movement of that essential commodity is one of our highest operational priorities, and we work closely with fuel terminal partners to maintain continuity before, during, and after events. During Hurricanes Helene and Milton, fuel supplies at port tanks remained sufficient for several weeks. However, challenges related to power restoration, flooded terminal equipment, roadway access, and outages at retail fueling stations impacted broader distribution capabilities. In response, new state fuel terminal reporting requirements are taking effect this year, and Port Tampa Bay has been actively collaborating with terminal operators to strengthen preparedness measures, including equipment staging, power redundancy. As Cherie mentioned, we have an undergrounding project that we've been doing with TECO at the port, fuel truck staging, and other resiliency enhancements informed by lessons learned from the 2024 season. These coordinated efforts are central to maintaining regional resiliency, and we appreciate similar message to everyone else up here. We really appreciate the public's patience and your advanced preparation, and as the port is able to safely restore its operations and get everything running back up to full service again. So I'd like to now introduce Maribel Garrett, City of Tampa's Hispanic Liaison. Thank you.
Muy buenos días a todos los presentes. Es difícil reconocer que ya estamos a 10 días del comienzo de la temporada de huracanes y con la presencia de El Niño este año esperamos una temporada un poco más tranquila, pero eso no significa que no tengamos que prepararnos en este momento y que bajemos la guardia. Si miramos en el 1992, estábamos en un patrón similar y ahí fue cuando Andrew tocó tierra y hizo daños inminentes mayores al área del sur de la Florida. Así que les recomendamos que por favor comiencen sus preparaciones en este momento. Desarrolle un plan de acción. Prepare un kit de suministros de emergencia y manténgase informado. Esas son las 3 cosas principales que necesitamos que nuestros residentes actúen inmediatamente. Para estos efectos vamos a estar llevando a cabo la Expo de preparación de huracanes que se va a llevar a cabo el sábado 30 de mayo, de 11 de la mañana a 3 de la tarde en Al López, en el centro Cordelia Hunt. Así que si necesitan información, vamos a tener disponibles nuestra nueva guía de preparación para huracanes, que está disponible tanto en inglés como en español. Así que va a estar disponible en ese momento en la parte física, pero actualmente tenemos esa guía en nuestra página de internet, así que cualquier información y para accesar esa guía pueden ir a tampa.gov/hurricanes. Recuerden que muchos artículos de emergencia que antes tenían que esperar a la época de impuestos, libre de impuestos, ahora están disponibles sin impuestos todo el año. Así que el momento de prepararse, de hacer sus kits de suministros es ahora y muchos de esos artículos que necesitan van a estar disponibles sin impuestos. En la página de tampa.gov/hurricanes también pueden recibir información sobre los refugios. Estos refugios están disponibles para todos los residentes de la ciudad de Tampa, independientemente de estatus migratorio. Es importante mencionar eso, ya que muchas personas a veces tienen un poco de miedo de asistir y se quedan en la casa. No, sigan las reglas, sigan las indicaciones de las agencias gubernamentales en todo lo que tiene que ver con la evacuación. Las zonas de evacuaciones cambiaron, así que es importante que busquen la información. Si estaban en una zona que tal vez no era inundable, puede que ahora sí lo estén. Así que es importante que vayan a tampa.gov/hurricanes y busquen cuál es su zona de evacuación. Tenemos refugios para personas con necesidades especiales. Estos refugios necesitan un preregistro y necesitan a veces 30 días de anticipación para poder tener todo el equipo que sea necesario. Así que, por favor, si usted o algún familiar tiene necesidades especiales, haga ese proceso ahora. No espere a que surja la emergencia para entonces tomar acción. Los dueños de vehículos eléctricos, el número de vehículos eléctricos continúa aumentando. Es importante que tomen las precauciones necesarias y que de la misma forma que van a determinar qué van a hacer con su familia, determinen qué van a hacer con esos vehículos eléctricos. Así que por favor tengan un plan de acción. Si tienen generadores de electricidad, por favor asegúrese que estén en un área segura y que estén alejados de la casa, que todos esos humos que pueden causar daño estén saliendo hacia afuera. Si hay una orden de evacuación, tenemos un programa que se llama de reingreso para los negocios y para los residentes. Información sobre esto la pueden conseguir en tampa.gov/handtag. Y toda esta información va a estar disponible en esa guía de huracanes que les mencioné anteriormente. Nuevamente les recomendamos que se preparen ahora, cuando estamos en una época que no existe una emergencia, de forma que podamos evitar complicaciones innecesarias. And now I would like to turn it back over to...
Con respecto a lo que dijo el jefe de la policía de Tampa, que tenía nuevos vehículos, que habían comprado airboats, could you
So, el Departamento de Policía tiene equipos, tiene vehículos nuevos que le permiten, unos anfibios, que le permiten hacer rescate de ser necesario, tanto en tierra como en agua. Y tienen otros equipos, tienen unos botes de aire, de propulsión de aire, que les permite también moverse en aguas que no son tan profundas. O sea, cada uno de los departamentos que están aquí tienen equipo nuevo y el equipo necesario para poder tomar acción en caso de que surja una emergencia mayor. And now I would like to turn it over back to Mayor Castor.
And might I add, too, that if we do, as both Chief Tripp and Chief Bercaw have said, we are very prepared for the event of a hurricane, and we have the ability to rescue individuals. But if you were told to evacuate and we have to come and rescue you and put our first responders in danger, you at the very least will receive a lecture from them. So please heed the warnings. Any questions?
Mayor, it seemed like one of the common themes was what you all have learned from previous storms, particularly 2 years ago.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, some of the things that we learned, clearly, we knew ahead of time that physics has taught us all that water will seek the lowest point. And unfortunately, we found out that a couple of neighborhoods in our city were that lowest point, and that there was water that came from, I believe it was 8 or more stormwater retention ponds in the county and in the city into neighborhoods like Forest Hills and Overlook, areas that were in flood zones. So we did learn a great deal from that. We learned the debris management, something for me that I learned we have the contracts ahead of time. And I learned after Helene hit that they had 2 weeks in which to activate, respond to those contracts. And I have to give it to our entire team, especially our purchasing director, Faggart, that we just started calling individuals who had contracts with the city and had big trucks, had the ability to haul debris. And I believe she signed up over 300 individuals to start collecting that debris and getting it away from people's homes. So probably the biggest lesson that we learned is that we are very flexible and we have the ability to adapt. I often tell people that in an emergency, there's very little you can control, so control as much as you can prior to. And I'm very proud of our team. Not only our team, I'm very proud of our community as well. The way neighbors came together to help neighbors, the level of preparedness in our community, very, very proud. But we do have a lot of new people that have come here, and they don't understand, may not understand the power of Mother Nature. And you don't want to experience it firsthand. You want to be in a safe place watching it on one of you guys' newscasts.
Mayor, quick question. Thank you so much for having us and everyone for being here. understand, like, what really is in that guide and where people, again, can get access to your guide.
Okay, you didn't tell me you were going to give me a test on it, but I actually did read the entire guide, and it is very, very helpful. It talks about the supplies, you know, your personal kit. It has all the information about the new evacuation zones. Just talks in very plain, practical terms that everyone can understand. You know, it starts with the sort of the definition of the zones, and evacuation doesn't mean you have to go counties away. It can literally be a couple of miles. You're just going to higher ground. Just all of that sort of storm information that you may need. And then it goes into pre-preparation, what you need to do for your family, all of that information from ID, prescriptions, and then when the storm is coming, how to get your information, the simple steps that you can take, moving your cars into a parking garage, those types of things. And then to, once the storm hits, what do we do then? So I think it's something that will prepare our community, and it may relieve some stress of facing hurricanes. It's just something that we've been very, very fortunate. You know, as you guys heard from me, 66 years I've been in this community. I've never seen anything like Helene or Milton, and to have both of those in 10 days was a 1-2 punch. But you can't keep Tampa down.
Mayor, you still have some people recovering from
Yes,
Hurricane
we do.
Helene and Milton. What's your message to those people? What concerns do you have for those people who still have work
Right.
to do on their own?
Yes, and as you know, we actually just put several more $1 million of general fund into a program into those areas that were X, and the individuals that did not have flood insurance. And so we were able to provide them, I believe, up to $5,000. Is that correct? $2,000 to $5,000. Oh, 30,000. There you go. So anyway, going back and reimbursing individuals that had to pay for that damage. I tell you, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, you all saw it, but you know, just to see someone, the devastation in their eyes when their life is out on the curb, they don't have flood insurance, and it's like, what am I going to do now? And so I think as a community, not just the city, neighbors, nonprofits, that everybody stepped forward. But we also have the CDBG DR that the county received, just under $800 million. Great deal of that is going to be used for affordable housing as well, stormwater projects, those types of things, to harden the entire county for future storms, but also to provide housing for individuals that need it in our community. One of the things I would say, and I thought this was from Kevin Guthrie, our state emergency manager, said that if you have a Florida driver's license, you should have flood insurance. And I think that makes a lot of sense. If you read your flood insurance policy and your homeowner's policy, there's a lot of things that your homeowner's policy doesn't cover that the flood insurance covers. And I'm not talking about hurricanes and those types of things, just flooding that you would assume your homeowner's was gonna cover, and it doesn't. But flood insurance is relatively inexpensive. All right? All good? Thank you, guys.